share this video right now. And then once the show ends, if you vibe with it, if you liked it, you are going to then, guess what? I'm about to show you what you got to do. If you like, yeah, I kind of rocked with that show. Y'all did that. This is what we're going to need you to do. We're going to need you to like, we're going to need you to follow, and we're going to need you to subscribe on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. And make sure you call somebody else and tell them about the show. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and get the announcements out the way. Good morning as y'all come in. Y'all make sure y'all say good morning. Speak to us. The family know that's the expectations. Say what's up. You can tell us where you're coming in from. Just make yourself feel at home. So we got a few things coming up. Okay. We have, I'm doing a life coaching class, a group class titled The Power of Me. It's for women 21 and older in Grand Prairie, Texas. We're starting on June 12th. So you have until this coming up Saturday to register. Actually, this Sunday. Coming up to register. And so you can email me at weWillWin@CandaceTuck.com. Tell them about the marriage retreat.
The marriage retreat is Granbury? Mm-hmm. It's in Granbury. It is an absolutely beautiful spot. We're looking for 7 couples, right?
No.
6? 5 couples.
It's going to be intimate.
Very intimate. A spiritual retreat.
All right. So you can go to www.spiritualmarriageretreat.com. Find out information. We have 3 more spots available. So make sure you register, y'all. It's going to be a romantic getaway. You know, just sometimes you got to get away from family, kids, work, everybody, just to focus on this right here. And so it's for engaged and married couples. And so we hope to see you there, whether your marriage just needs some tuning up or strengthening, or you are on the verge of despair and you are considering a divorce. It don't matter how far in between that spectrum you are. Come on out. All right? So it's time to get it crack-a-lacking. It is time. So your mouth is reckless. Your mouth is reckless. Sound. You don't hear the sound? Okay, hold on. Sound issues. Oh, my goodness. Okay, hold on. Boy, the devil is busy already. Hold on, y'all. No, don't do that. Thank you, James, for informing us.
Yo. Hello. I'm still here.
I don't know what to do about that.
Do a show like that.
Hold on, y'all. We're about to take a pause. Okay.
There it is.
Okay. All right. Sound like we ready now. All right. There we go. Thank you. Y'all see what family do? And I heard that on my phone at first, but I didn't know. All right. So here we go. We're about to go ahead and get started. Thank you. So, reckless mouths. And so before we're about to be talking about having disputes in your marriage and in your relationships and conflict and talking through it and how it should look and how it should sound. But you know what? I was reading this book on yesterday, The Meaning of Marriage. And we got some distorted views about marriage.
You think?
I think that is reflected in how you see us moving. When I say in the now in society as of now, how quick people get a divorce, the reasons people get a divorce, we really don't even understand the meaning of marriage. We put all these our own stuff on it. And what I realize is that a lot of us are making marriage into what we want it to be so that it can be easy. So when I say make it what we want to be, so we're gonna have a polygamous with marriage.
Right.
Because now one of us have discipline to just be right here with it.
Right.
Or whatever, and you can come up with a host of things that people do that, well, this is how we do it. Right. Don't worry about it. If it worked for us.
Right.
But how many, and it's all because we don't want to go along with what the plan requests of us to do.
Because it's not easy.
Yeah.
I mean, doing life with one person every single day isn't always easy. Mm-hmm. It's not always fun. People don't say that when you speak about marriage. People's not gonna tell you, there's gonna be some bad days, boy. There's gonna be some days you don't like your wife, or your wife don't like. People don't say that, but it's actually true. So to do it the biblical way isn't always easy. It can be difficult at times. It can. Doesn't have to stay that way, but it can be.
I definitely think when you first start out,
right,
you're learning to merge the two lives.
Yeah.
I definitely feel like as you grow, as you in it for a long time, there are certain things that you still shouldn't be doing that you was doing when you first got married.
Okay.
And so and this is not what this show about, but when I was reading that book,
what was the name of the book?
The Meaning of Marriage. Okay. And something else that was said, he was saying that when you go into a marriage, this is for all my single people. When you're saying, well, I just want you, just accept me for me. Just accept me for me. Like, when we say that, do we realize what we are really saying? Just accept me for me. That means that you're already going in saying, don't try to change me.
Right. Yeah. Right.
But the moment you say, I do, I mean the moment that both of you sit at that altar and say, I do, you just changed.
You better.
You just changed because that's how powerful.
You just, some people don't, and I think that's the problem.
But the moment you say, I do, your status just changed.
Yes, it does.
It has changed, and marriage is so profound and so powerful that I do just set you on a course of a journey of change. So the person you married or who they were right before you said I do, they have changed the moment y'all said it. Your status has changed. Now God is about to go to work for real and continue to change you. So, and then to say, don't change me, basically, or accept me as for who I am, you're not willing to get better. Because you got to know we all got flaws.
I don't have many flaws.
You sure don't. So it's just like change is inevitable. It's going to happen. And so I just wanted to talk, my mind was blown. Just reading and like
that's that book?
I don't know. I don't know I can't tell you off the top of my head. But that was something y'all might have saw my post yesterday. It was like just God's revelation of marriage to me. It intrigues me. It is fascinating for me to hear this man, and I'm continuing to learn like even more and more about how powerful this relationship is. And so, because you can always learn from somebody else. So yeah, but we're talking about how reckless your mouth is in conversation and in disputes. Let me see. Are disputes inevitable?
Yes. Of course, how could you possibly live with someone and not have a disagreement? I don't know anyone. I mean, I know some people would like to say our marriage is perfect. We don't never argue. We don't ever have disagreements. I don't believe that. I believe your arguments may be minor, may be small, may not be no
the rah.
Right. But you may have simple disagreements. And I believe the longer you've been married and the more you're trying to move, the more you're into this and trying to perfect it, it goes down. The argument goes, it's less and less and less. You find a couple that's been married 65, 70 years, 80 years ago. They may not argue much.
But a dispute can be a disagreement,
yes,
an argument,
yes. And again,
or a debate.
And there could be as simple as you left the light on. You left the light on last night. I told you about keeping the light on. And even other couples are looking like, what? That's not an argument. Well, for them it is. Because they've been married for 55, 60 years. So what's the question again? Is the dispute
inevitable? Are they gonna happen? And I always tell Mom, or this is a conversation that we had. And just for y'all, if this your first time tuning in, the Couples Lounge is gonna give you something to talk about. Whether it's talk about with your spouse, your significant other, your girlfriends, your homeboys, your family members. So you're gonna use what we talking about to have conversations with the people that need to have that they need to be had with. And so I say this. I don't think disagreements. I do believe you're gonna have disagreements because y'all two different people and you have your own mindset.
The question because you sound like you don't.
No. I don't feel like you have to have arguments. I do not feel
answer
like
the question. That's not
no.
not the question.
Are disputes inevitable? Yes, I do believe.
Okay, yes, that answer is
that you're going to have disputes. Okay. For me,
what's the difference between a dispute and an argument? To you?
No, that's the same thing. A dispute is a disagreement, argument, or debate. That's a legal definition.
Okay, so you just said you don't believe. What did you say?
I don't believe they have to turn into arguments.
Okay.
I think we can keep our dispute or at a disagreement stage. I feel like it's stages to when we're not agreeing with each other.
Break that down. You feel there's stages to dispute.
I think when we start having conversations about something that we may not agree. First of all, it just starts out as a conversation.
Okay.
And then there may come a moment in the conversation where you got one way of thinking about it. I got another way of thinking about it. Now we're in a disagreement about it. Or it could even be a debate, but we're in a disagreement and we just talking.
Okay.
I think when ego starts to shift or ego starts to rear up, selfishness starts to rear up, then we transition into arguing about it. I think heat comes with the argument stage. I think once we move into arguing, we're no longer really listening to each other. And we're just trying to get our point across when we're arguing. Because normally an argument is like this.
So you don't believe people could actually listen for understanding in an argument?
No. Not if you really argue. You cannot listen and talk at the same time.
So arguing is when we're both speaking at the same time?
Yeah, arguing. Okay. Arguing, or I think you might can even be arguing.
Let me look up.
I think you can even be arguing if, but it will look like this. That person's saying something, but you waiting on your rebuttal. So again, you're not listening, and y'all supposed to be in an argument. But I think arguing, you going back and forth with it. So what be the root cause? I guess I kind of just said mine. The root cause of arguing or our conflicts. Do we even be knowing? Like once we get into the argument stage, do we be even knowing what the argument is really about?
Okay, I'm sorry. I was just looking up the definition for arguing.
I'm gonna ask y'all, when you and your spouse or you arguing with somebody, once you hit the arguing stage, do you really even recall what the root of it is? I don't know about y'all, but there's been times where it started out here and then it went there, and then it went there, and then it went here. And it's just like once you stop, it's like, How did this even start? How did we get here? How did we get here?
Okay. Now, what was the question? I was looking up the definition of argument. I'm sorry.
What be the root cause of arguments?
You trying to
and disagreements, I guess.
Argument. You're trying to persuade someone to feel, agree, or think the way you think, and they're not. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to get you to see my point of view, but you're not.
But can't we do that without it turning all rah heated?
Yes, you can. You can. Of course, you can. People,
how do we do that? Resolve conflict and those type of things without it getting rah.
By staying calm and actually listening for understanding, and not being upset, bothered, mad at the other person's opinion. If I'm not upset, mad, or bothered for you feeling whatever it is you're feeling, the opposite of what I'm feeling, and I stay calm when you're making your point, and I just try to make my point, we don't have to. I think the issue comes when we kind of poke at each other.
Yeah, that's
when you try to make the other person feel less than, slow, dumb, whatever less than is. That's when, okay, the other person's feelings is triggered. Now I'm upset. I wasn't upset because you wasn't jabbing at me. You're just trying to make your point. But now when you're jabbing at me to make your point, now I feel a certain way because you're trying to act like I'm slow. You're trying to act like I'm dumb. Like you're just smarter than me. You're just now I'm human. You're human, and boom, that defense mechanism takes over, and boom, I attack back. You attack back. Now we're arguing.
And I think conflict too comes when you this comment. See, this what you do. See, this what you do. Like if we really trying to resolve a conversation, those words at that time may not be wise to use or say. Like, because more than likely you're saying it from trying to poke or trying to hit below the belt.
I disagree with that. Because sometimes that can be very much so. This is what you do. Every time you try to make your point, you talk about me. Or you try to make, this is what you do.
But now, how does that that benefit what we are trying to accomplish?
That's how that benefits. That can show the other person themselves. Look, this is what you're doing. This is not going to benefit us. But stop doing that. And you holding the mirror. This is what you do. You talk about me. You call me dumb. You call me slow. This is what you do. Every time we have a disagreement, you call me slow. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with saying this is what you do? I point out what I'm doing wrong.
I think in that moment, that person is not in a place to hear. See, this definitely if we're
that's on that person. That's on you. If you're not on the person,
but it's strategies that you want to try to use to have a productive conversation.
But if you in the place not to hear, that's not you. How you gonna hold that against me?
No. I'm saying you're not in a place because we are in an argument and we're going back and forth. That's what I'm saying. That like this isn't the time because making certain comments that do what I just said. We'll be talking about this, and then you say one thing, and now we're talking about this. We don't forgot about that. Now we done moved on to this, and then this conversation can take us so many different rounds. I feel like a lot of times that comment is or could be.
But isn't that on me though? You're telling me, Remon, this is what you do. Every time we get into
this, you start talking over me.
You start talking over me. If I'm not receiving that, that's on me. But hold on, you making that comment shouldn't be I took us over here, took us over there. And if it does, that's on me.
I do.
What you said was literally true. I do it, and we can't continue our conversation.
If they agree with
but if they don't agree with me, that's if I don't agree with you, that's still on me. What you said wasn't out of bounds. If it's true. Now, if you're just saying something and it ain't true, then you done took the conversation left field, and that's on you. But if you saying that and it's true, I'm always trying to talk over you, and all you said, this is what you do. How am I?
I do believe it is on the person because it probably will hit a trigger. It probably will hit something.
And that's on them.
I agree. Okay. It is on them, but I think a lot of things in communicating and being with your spouse or partner, it comes from intention. What is your intention behind what you're saying, what you're doing? I think that would be a nugget I would drop right here. Is be mindful of your intentions when you're having disputes, disagreements, arguments, when you say certain things.
Because that comment to me seems like the intent is to show the other person what they're doing. How is it not? Agree. But that's exactly what it's saying. This is what you do. How's that not basically telling Remon, I'm trying to show you or tell you, baby, all you do is talk over me when we're getting into it. How's that not? I don't get that. Maybe what am I missing?
Okay, no, I would say this. I think the intention behind that is gonna, how it comes out will be based off your intention, because you can say, you know, babe, this is what you do. You're starting to talk over me. Like, I feel like, and that's a sincerity. I want to make you aware that you're doing whatever it is.
What's the other intention?
Other intentions could be just I'm not hitting below the belt, but I am I'm saying it from a place of I don't know what the word is. I want to say contradictory, not contradictory, but
no, that's not it.
Not contradictory, but I'm just doing it to kind of like poke the barrel. Or it sometimes can be used for a deflection. Sometimes it can be used for oh my God, it was almost there. I'm saying it to you because I just want to point out something about you that maybe not be good in the moment. And what I'm saying is sometimes it does it benefit where we are at right now.
And here's the issue sometimes. When you're in a disagreement or argument, the other person is already in defense mode.
Both of y'all are. If you are,
let me finish. But if you are in that, no matter what my intentions are, you might not receive it anyway. And I may have the correct intentions, baby. I'm just trying to point out, baby, you keep talking over. But I'm so defensive right now. I ain't even heard what you you just trying to say what.
Yeah.
And you really wouldn't. So you have to be careful when you trying to judge someone's intent when you're in defense mode. Because when you're in defense mode, your judgment can be completely off on their intent. And you have to be aware of that. Make sense?
I can feel that. So, as I was preparing for this show, I said, you know what? Something that is crazy is that arguments will happen because somebody don't want to talk. Arguments happen because we don't want to talk. Meaning,
that person
that I don't know want to sweep something under the rug. I don't want to have this conversation. The fact that you don't want to have a conversation, now we're gonna have another conversation that is negative energy filled, ignorant filled.
So the fact that I don't want to talk is gonna lead to a conversation.
Yeah, ain't that crazy? It's still gonna lead to a conversation.
I think that's a woman thing.
What?
That's a woman thing. As a man, when we don't want to talk, we shut up and we don't want to talk.
But then you shutting up. But if she's saying it's something we need to have a conversation
about, I don't want to talk, so I ain't talking.
So we're finna have a conversation
because of you.
Because you don't want to talk. Now it ain't even about the conversation that we need to be talking about.
But maybe we don't need to have that conversation at that moment. At that moment, I'm too heated. You too heated. Let's calm down. I'm not saying wait 2-3 days. I'm saying let's just wait.
I'm talking about people that run from conversations, that want to sweep it under the rug, don't want to address it. It's the biggest elephant in our relationship, but we can't talk about it. And every time somebody want to talk about it, the other person shut down. Now we still finna talk. And guess what we finna talk about? Why you don't want to talk? Ain't that crazy? Relationships are fascinating to me, and I love it. If this is your first time tuning in, make sure you share the video. If you're joining us 30 minutes in, you are tuned in to the Couples Lounge Show, where we're talking about your mouth being reckless, in which we're about to we kind of been touching on it. But I feel like a reckless, P.I. says, a lot of spouses, depending on the subject, don't want to converse anyway. And why is that?
Because it can be difficult. It can be uncomfortable. It can be painful. It can be hurtful. It can be upsetting. Anything in that realm, people might not want to run to it.
Okay. But it's a part of our relationship.
Right. True. But if it's painful, some people, it's going to be upsetting.
Like what? Can you give an example?
Of a painful conversation.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like how your mama or your dad is XYZ. I'm having issues with your in-laws, with your parents.
Mm-hmm.
That can be a heated conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And I might not want to come to you. You might not want to come to me because you know how it can turn just like that. So therefore, you kind of swoop it under.
But why would it turn like that? If my spouse is coming to me about something,
come on, baby, don't come on.
No, well, let's talk it through. We gotta help the people.
Okay,
we gotta help the people
because you know how she's such a daddy's girl, mama. He's such a mama's boy to where mama or daddy is up here and I might not be there, or they're putting me close to.
Well, first of all,
I'm just trying to come up with
I'm going with what he's saying. First of all, mama and daddy don't go before husband and wife. Period. Point blank. The moment you say I do, their position shift, baby. And it is me and spouse, me and my husband and wife,
that's just
and your mom. I know. I'm just letting the people know who out here still putting their mama or their daddy in front of their husband or their wife. That is out of order. That is out of order. That is out of order. See, that's one of them things. We're going to have a whole show on order. The order of marriage, what is Mallory saying? The tongue has two sides. A good side and a bad side. Get the brain.
The Bible is, I'm not sure the exact scripture, but the Bible speaks about that. A wise man holds his tongue. Only a fool blurts out what he knows or think he knows at all times. Well said.
So I would say this. Another thing, I was watching a couples show, and the guy didn't want to keep bringing up his cheating. He didn't see a point in that. Going back to what P.I. said, some people don't want to have conversations about certain things. Right. He didn't want to keep talking about it. And he was like just hard nosed on it. Like, I don't even think they had really processed it in their marriage, hence why they probably was sitting up in a counseling session. But it wasn't until many, many sessions down the line that he was able to say, it hurts me to think about how I hurt her. Right. But it was coming up as a defense, as a deflection. No, I ain't talking about it. You need to move on. It is what it is. And he never communicated, and she never saw it. Like, me keep bringing it up is hurting him. And it was like, And I think also reason people run from certain conversations is because it causes you to be vulnerable. And people are fearful of being vulnerable. Definitely if they don't trust. They don't trust. If you don't trust your spouse, more than likely, I'm going to say this. Sometimes it's you not trusting yourself. Sometimes it's you not trusting your spouse. And so you can use this right here. Okay. So it's the fear of being vulnerable. Is why people don't want to have to, because you're going to have to open up your heart. You're going to have to speak your truth. And if you've never done that, maybe in your being raised, y'all didn't talk about feelings. You didn't talk about emotions, or from a man perspective, it was, nobody made a space or made it okay for you to say, yeah, I'm hurting. Yeah, that bothered me. Yeah, this, that, and the other. And so fear, things can't be resolved because there is a fear of vulnerability. You think it's weak. You have all these labels on vulnerability. I think another reason that conflicts don't get resolved is because you might got to acknowledge you wrong.
Ooh,
or you Lord. Handled it.
A woman show can.
Men too.
That was a joke.
I'm sorry. It's
Lord, I'm just joking.
You have to acknowledge your part in the breakdown of the relationship or in the breakdown of the conversation. We can't even resolve this situation because don't nobody want to be the bigger person, as they would say. So that's what I would say. So how do we resolve them? And so Mom was talking about something in the Bible. So I was looking up, and I ran up against a conversation that Paul was having with Titus. And this this may not be the resolution part just yet, but I think I need to talk about this. Is do not bicker about foolish conversations. Okay, go ahead and read.
Oh, the wife comes before everyone. The Bible says when a man finds a wife, he finds a good thing. A husband comes before everyone. Well said. P.I. Difficult conversations regarding wandering eyes. They are in denial and get upset when it comes up. That conversation could possibly end in a divorce.
About wandering eyes?
If you feel strongly about it being disrespectful, yeah, I could see how that being an issue, especially if a guy or a woman walks by. Oh, dang.
Now that's more than wandering eyes.
Well, that's wandering eyes.
No, you got comments, you got head.
Oh, okay. Well, what if my head is turned up, my eye, I'm looking. That's wandering eyes. You can't put nothing else to it but wandering eyes.
But I don't know. For me, when I was thinking wandering eyes, we out somewhere, and I'm looking, or we at a club, and you look, you see somebody that may look good or something, and your eyes just you wonder, they're wondering, but turning around, God dang, like whoa.
Okay, well take out the comment. When you turning around, that's the same thing as wandering eyes.
Okay.
Yeah, I can see that bit. You don't see that being the problem. Let somebody walk by.
That was an experience of ours. First year in our marriage.
What?
First year in our marriage in Atlanta. You don't remember?
No, I honestly don't remember.
We just got married. We just had got married.
And our girl walked by and I turned around and looked.
Literally.
I don't remember that.
Turned around. It was a group of them. It was a group of us. Turned all the way around.
I should have just waited when you weren't looking.
So yeah, I think that's a conversation. And I know I can see most people saying, "Well, I'm not blind. Why can't I look?" So I think it's levels to it. Like we're going to look at other. You're gonna look, but that don't mean you got to be lusting when you look. You're gonna notice beautiful people. You're gonna notice people
if you're looking, you're lusting.
That's not true.
If you're looking for more than a second, you're going to lust. That's a flat. I don't care what any woman that says that's a lie, she's lying.
For a second. After a second, you lusted.
Yes. I try not to look. If you look for a second or two, you're lusting. You're getting to think, you're getting to wonder, and women are no different. They'll act like they're different, but y'all are no different.
Yeah, we are. Yes, we are different.
When it comes to looking and staring at a guy,
okay, I agree with
you're telling me women only, so men only lust at the opposite sex?
Lust like you want to go have sex with her?
Or thinking sexual thoughts or impure thoughts?
No, I'm not saying only men do that, but I don't think women do it at the level or rate that y'all do.
I do. Y'all just slicker.
That's not something nobody knows. It's something that goes on in your head. It ain't nothing to be slicker.
What I mean by slicker, y'all saw the guy soon he got off the elevator. We saw the girl when she got right up on us. Y'all done dropped your pencil just so because you knew he's heading this way because you projected in 30 seconds and it'll be coming right here. So therefore you was already looking and we had no idea that you was doing that, and that's what you was doing the whole time. Well, we had to wait till she walked by, like, oh Lord, dang, let me play it off. But y'all been, come on, baby, come on now, don't play slow.
I looked at me and I ain't getting no 5 seconds. Oh, what I can do with him? Oh, I'm gonna have sex with him. Oh, sex. I want to be going in the bed. I want to.
Okay, you don't know what I'm saying. Women don't do that. My bad.
I'm not saying women don't do that. I'm just saying you talking about after a second you lusted.
Well, man, yes, I'm saying yeah. This is a lustful world we live in.
So after you will see a woman, I guess I need to start.
No, I don't look.
Don't look to man. You stop lying.
Here's what I'm saying. No, I'm dead serious when I say this. I really don't make eye contact and look at people. Here's why.
Eye contact is different.
Here's why I say that. I don't look because I have found myself looking and look up, and she looking at me and give you a oh shit.
What's your mind?
Lord, baby, I'm sorry. I ain't even look because you looking like you want old tough, and I'm scared. Go. Like looking is trouble. Don't look. You might mess around and they looking at you. I'm for real. Hey, word to the wise. Don't look.
Who is you promoting? Oh. So, okay. We got us all. P.I., you with these wondering eyes and got us off topic. Well, not really off topic, but that is a conversation. My thing is, why not have the conversations, y'all? If we're going to be together, definitely for you married people, if we're going to be together forever, the conversation ain't going nowhere. It may lay dormant.
Now, what was you asking? You was asking someone about. You read something.
I don't know what. I was going into the conversations that we should not be entertaining. Bickering over stuff that don't matter.
Yes.
And that's what Paul gave Titus 3 like tips. Like not bickering over foolish conversations.
Okay.
Y'all, everything don't have to be an argument.
Of course not.
Everything is like this is my thing. This is my thing how is it benefiting our relationship? If we're about to have this conversation, definitely if it's switched to argument status. Like before, how is this benefiting us?
Right.
Like, because sometimes we can be arguing, debating, having a disagreement about stuff that don't even matter to the relationship.
Right.
Like, for what? Why? How is this helping us?
Right.
Are we just talking about this just kind of like it's an easy conversation? But you'll start knowing if it's not an easy conversation. Mm-hmm. And so I say let's be mindful of what I was. Oh God, I need to stop saying this. As y'all can see, I listen and watch a lot of stuff.
Yeah, you do.
But one guy was like, certain stuff, if we're not arguing and discussing that, if it doesn't have a for real impact on our marriage. And the reality of it is certain things just don't have a real significant weight on our marriage. And I'll just use some examples. I won't use.
So you're not going to discuss it?
No, you can discuss it. But sometimes definitely over discussing things. Right. Like it keep being brought up. What is it? Is this hindering our relationship at all?
If it's going to be a heated discussion, then yeah. But if we're just discussing something and then there's no heat behind it.
But what if it is one person is like, what's the benefit of this?
Because I just want to talk to you about it. What's the problem?
It don't benefit our relationship. So why are we talking about this?
Because I just wanted your opinion about it. We can't talk about it. Damn.
Not if it's constant and over. Like, what is the benefit of it?
If it's going to be a heated discussion where there's some tension, I'm with you. But if there's no tension behind this particular topic and I just want to discuss it, what is the problem?
Yeah, I say before you had a conversation, you already know if it's going left real quick. I agree. Or you have an idea. If I bring this up, then what is the possibilities? I know I've said with myself and asked that, like, is this something I really need to bring up? Is this something I really need to talk about? Does this really impact how I see him? Does it really impact the trajectory of our relationship, our marriage?
Okay, now y'all thinking too much.
Does it really? No, because
so every conversation is not going to be.
No, but I'm not talking about just shooting the breeze type conversation. We just having general conversation. I'm talking about we keep bringing up stuff that's foolishness, and it is bringing heat, but it is a foolish, unnecessary conversation because it really don't have no weight. No, it's not going to be destroy our marriage is what I'm trying to say. And so Tuck is going to the cigar lounge, need to stop. So yeah, I just feel like we have to be mindful of that, because some people just like to argue.
Yeah.
And some people just like to keep bringing up stuff because that has been the function in their immediate family growing up, to where they just like to argue, and their mouth is reckless. Their family mouth is reckless. They talk to each other any old kind of way. They cuss each other out. They get loud and harsh and all that, and that's what they used to. Mm-hmm. And then you get married and you bring that into your marriage, and your wife or your husband don't operate like that. That's one of them things that's a good thing. But you might, as we was talking about at the beginning of the show, have people, oh, you knew that's how I was when we got married. Don't be trying to change me. Like, if that's not a good quality, you can choose to still be like that with your immediate family. Meaning, with your sisters, your brothers, your parents, y'all can still be like that. But when it comes to me, you gotta change. You gotta do different. And it's nothing wrong with your spouse asking you to treat and be with them in a different way if it doesn't feel loving to them, if it doesn't feel right to them. And that is okay. And if you like to argue, y'all, I'm just gonna say it, that is dysfunction. That is toxic. Like, you want to argue about everything. We can't have no decent conversation. You want to argue about everything. And I'm going to say this, women probably are some of the best arguers. I wonder if when it comes to lawyers, I don't know. I don't even want to go down that rabbit hole. But being mindful of that. And then Paul told Titus this. Cut off decisive people that like to argue. Cut them off after you give them the second warning. Now, you can't cut your spouse off. You can't just cut them off. But it's like making the other person aware. That's how I say, when you're in a marriage, you make them aware that this conversation is like this, or like you said earlier, this is how you showing up. This is what you're doing. So when it comes to arguing and debating and having a reckless mouth, because some people can slice you up with their tongue. They don't have to touch you. They don't even got to look at you. But the words that come out of their mouth is so lethal that it breaks your spirit. And so we got to be mindful of being in not relation, but being in the atmosphere or in these difficult conversations with people. Give them a warning, inform them, and then you can choose what you have conversations about after that. If it's heated and unloving, and and I know it can kind of get challenging in marriages, definitely when the people don't know how to communicate no other way than that. It can be challenging because you got to talk about stuff in relationships.
Agree.
You got anything to say?
No, agree. TD said, the problem happens when both sides are not willing to listen and try to understand the perspective of their spouse.
Absolutely. So how do we do it? And I'm going to tell y'all this. Having conflict with your spouse hinders your relationship with God. Having conflict with your spouse hinders your relationship with God. How?
How?
Because when y'all are in conflict, sometimes people don't want to pray.
I don't know if I necessarily. I think how you handle conflict can hinder your relationship with God.
I believe that too.
Not just the conflict itself. How you handle
remaining in conflict with your spouse hinders your relationship with God.
You said something right there. Because I believe the conflict itself can bring you closer to God.
Yeah, because not all conflict goes into argument.
Right.
You can be
because you can have conflict or disagreement or conflict, and it'll get you on your knees more. So I don't believe that just having conflict hinders your relationship. How you handle it
and staying in it hinders, because this is the reality of it. And at first I did not get it, but then I could see, because what I'm about to say, I didn't see it. Like, some people don't want to pray if they mad. They don't want to pray.
Right.
Hindering your relationship with God, because that's where you should be tapping into.
Right.
But if your spirit is not right internally, you don't want to pray. You don't want to pray for them. You don't want to pray for the situation, when that's exactly what we should be doing when you're in conflict with your spouse. Conflict is the devil. I believe, I agree. I agree, because I don't believe you. I think you should be able to have disputes. Yes, because I think I have gotten off. Having conflict is not loving. That is not good. We can have disagreements, but when you are having conflict and then consistently having conflict,
let me look up the definition.
It hinders your relationship with God. Sometimes you refrain or refuse to forgive people. That hinders your relationship with God.
Ooh.
Your refusal to forgive. Oh, no, I ain't forgiving you for saying that. I ain't forgiving you for doing that. Another hint, because you're going to be asking God.
Conflict is a serious disagreement or argument.
And I don't think we have to be having those at some point. I think it's you growing, you learning, you get counseling, you get coaching, you heal. You don't have to have conflict. And in my mind, I have been still thinking about disputes when I was saying that. But conflicts, no. You don't have to. You do not have to be in conflict with your spouse.
Right.
Okay, another way that it hinders your relationship with God is you refuse to trust God in the situation or about the situation.
Break that down. What do you mean by that?
You don't.
Give me an example.
You do not trust God to handle what y'all going through. We've been going through this. God ain't showed up. It's some people out here that's real life mad at God for different situations, because I had to go through this. If it was a God, why did I have to go through this? Why did you allow me to experience this, that, and the other? So we get to a place where we don't trust God when we're in the midst of conflict. Conflict and confusion is not of God. Conflict and confusion is not of God. That should be one of our a sign that God ain't in what we're doing right now. If we're in conflict and confusion, whether it's in the conversation, whether it's in the marriage, that is a sign at this moment we are out of alignment.
Right.
And so when there is disputes or conflict, and when we have to have a conversation, we need to lead with love. We need to lead with love and inner conversations from a heart space. I love you. And it is for us to handle each other accordingly. We out here having conflict and conversations and disputes, and we acting like we don't love the person we talking to. And what comes out of your mouth is a reflection of your heart. Whether it's your tone, whether it's your words, it's a reflection of your heart. So that is, so when and I would tell y'all, this is something that, I don't know, I was reading the word at this point. And I actually, when I was in Mineola a couple of weeks last weekend, and it was like the word is saying we have to handle the disputes that we have need to be heart centered. So when I'm talking to you, if it's from my heart, and my heart ain't full of gunk and hatred and all of that kind of stuff, I can talk to you about whatever from a place of seeking peace with the intention of peace. And in that, you feel love. In that, you feel respected. When we speak from our heart. But the moment we don't speak from our heart, the other person is going to feel the rejection, the projection, the defense mechanisms, and etc.
But you can, and also you can help that person out. I can help you to speak from your heart by the way I speak to you.
Right.
Because if I'm coming at you in a disrespectful way, it's not so easy for you to be speaking from your heart. You could be coming from a hurt defense side.
Right.
And that's not coming from here. So I can help you by doing that.
Yeah.
You can help your partner, your spouse, to speak in a loving way by you speaking to them in a respectful, loving way. Because if you speaking to your spouse in a disrespectful, not so loving way, everything coming back won't be loving. Not saying it's right.
Right.
Definitely not saying it's right. But we're human. We make mistakes. And if you constantly hit me over the head, at some point the person might not turn the other cheek and things come out in not so loving way.
And I agree. And I'm not gonna say but, and we are still held accountable, even if they don't make it easy.
Absolutely.
We are still held accountable for how we show up. But, because he harsh, don't mean that I need to come back even harsher, because at that point, he's going to feel a certain type of way. And some people might say, well, you shouldn't have said it to me like that.
Right.
I get that too, but
that's
it's
why
like
I always say doing the right thing ain't easy, because you're coming at me disrespectful. As a husband, I need to speak to you in a loving manner.
Exactly. Despite me coming disrespectful.
That ain't always easy.
It's not.
As a wife, you should come to me in a respectful, loving way. But I'm coming at you, like my sister said, with my tone jacked up, my words jacked up. But it ain't easy when I'm coming at you like that. That's why I said you can help your partner come to you in a loving, or to speak in a loving way, but how you come to them. Yeah. Because if I'm coming to you like this and talking to you like this, it is difficult. What? It's like you look foolish coming to me like that, and I'm talking to you like this. Like, baby, why are you upset? Boo, calm down, boo. And you going left field, boom, boom, boom.
And it is definitely, it is a challenge.
Oh, no
and
doubt. No doubt.
It does allow for growth for you, because you learn techniques, you learn to pray in the moment, you learn to gain patience, and it doesn't justify their behavior at all, because some people might say, oh, well, you putting up with that and you allow him or her to do this, that, and the other to you. No, it's like, what benefit is it to me? Because to be in conflict takes a lot of energy. And I am at a point in my life where I ain't, look, it's a barometer that I go to internally. When I can feel myself, no, it's not what I'm not doing. All that hollering and screaming and trying to talk above, no, I'm not doing that with anybody. And I will take a breath and I'm going to pause. Conflict is allowed by God as a sign of self and nothing being in line with his will. Conflict is allowed by God.
It's allowed.
Signs of a conflict should be met with prayer, reflection, patience, and growth. I do agree with that. I don't, oh, man.
What you mean? It is allowed.
I say this, a lot of times people say, God gives us choices. I won't.
That's the.
I don't know if I would say God allows free will. I think it's free will. It's just what you choose to do. Now, if you choose to do this, and I'm gonna give you tools, or I'm gonna give you benefit. I'm gonna show you how it's gonna work for your good, this, that, and the other. So I see that kind of like that. So
real quick, baby, your hair getting bigger.
It grew a lot when I had it. Like, yes, I was so excited when I took the braids down.
So by putting it in braids, having to do that,
it's just like not touching your hair.
Oh.
So when you don't touch your hair, you get length.
So
that's why your hair grows like this. Because you don't.
So by not braiding your hair, making it
not touching it, not picking it out every day, not blow drying it, etc.
Okay.
So that's how your locks so long, because you don't touch your hair. But once, twice a month.
In my hair.
So having conflict is not a requirement in a relationship.
No. You should have naked conflicts.
You're going to have disagreements, but they don't have to end up in an argument. If we enter into relationship, I had some other notes on here that I wanted I'll just say this. Go to God. So many times we're going to our spouse for what we want first, instead of going to God first. And so I'm coming to you about what I want, and then if you don't want to give it to me, or you reluctant to give it to me, whatever the case may be, now I'm mad, now I'm arguing, now this, that, and the other. We got to go to God first.
Stop. I got to put a pin right there. What you just, I almost did a flip, scream, Holy Ghost dance, and all that and above. Wow, wow. Say that one more time. Let me go to what first?
You have to go to God first before going to your spouse.
Okay, now shut up. Yeah, I was being funny. Shut up. All right. Reason why I said put a pause by that. There has been times to where I went to God, Lord, she tripping. I need you to let her know how she's tripping on this. And lo and behold, you have came and said, hey, I was wrong. I was like, like what the? I kid you not. It was like, and I'm like, Lord, she's putting it like, man, look, she ain't seeing my nigga. You know what I mean? I didn't forget me, Lord. But I'm like, man, my brother, Lord, she, and then you come and say that. It was like.
So what did God show you in that moment?
Come to me. Come to me for what you need and talk to me more. Come to me. Come to me, my brother. I'm your answer. You can't do it. Come to me. I got this. I got her. And you come to me.
That's in every part of your
life. Yes, of course. Yes. So when you just said that, it's like, girl, I almost did a flip. Girl.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's going to God, even if it is you seeking an apology, or you.
And I wasn't even seeking. I just wanted
to acknowledge. There's a reason that we go to our spouse, whether you want y'all income to increase. Are you going to your spouse because of how y'all been handling the kids together? Whatever it is, we tend to go to our spouse first, which going to our spouse is something we have to do. But my thing is this: moving forward, go to God first. Put the request at the feet of God first. I got it. And at the feet of God first, and then go to your spouse with your concerns. And so, and again, operate from our heart. So, babe, what somebody should have told me?
What I just said.
Okay. And so my somebody should have told me is take the time to ask God for what you want, to see in your marriage, to see in your spouse, to see in yourself before going to your husband or to your wife or to your significant other, even again, if it applies to you. Even if it applies to you, go to God first. And so just being mindful of the things that are in your heart. Thank y'all for tuning in.
Hold on.
For those that
question for the people. Is this our regular time, 10, or is it going to be 9?
This is our regular time.
Not 9.
Not 9. We got a new time, 10 o'clock.
Okay.
So y'all make sure y'all get on every Saturday. We back live, 10 o'clock. So you all, if you're in the DFW area, ladies, I'm calling you out for a shifting in your life. For the Power of Me class, you will change. You will be different. Take your focus off your husband and your man for a moment. And let's focus on you. Let's focus on healing the things that has happened to you in the past, that happened to you in childhood. A lot of times we do not see how the things that we are carrying are hindering us in every part of our lives, or maybe some parts of our life. So email me at WeWillWin@Candace Tuck, and I will send you the link to register. The sessions are basically $75. It's a 12-week course, and your life will be different. You will feel different. You will move. I always say this: heal people speak different, talk different, move different. So come out, DM me if you didn't catch the email. For those of you that are married or engaged, we hope to see you at the Spiritual Marriage Retreat going down in October. www.spiritualmarriageretreat.com. Again, if you didn't catch it, please just inbox us and we'll get you the information. And if you need relationship coaching, individual coaching, let's do it. Everybody should take the time to get a life coach or a counselor one time in your life. That's like one of them things. You bucket list that. At least 3 months. At least 3 months. So that will be the end of the show. Thank y'all for tuning in. We love y'all. See y'all next Saturday.